Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name's Emma. Today I just wanted to chat kind of about my move. I know I have been, again, super inconsistent in uploading. What else is new? But I guess kind of in this video I want to talk a little bit about why that is, and also just some things that no one ever told me about moving across the country, especially by yourself. And then even when Chris did come join me here, there's still just a lot of things that, I don't know, maybe I'm just naive and never knew, but I thought maybe this video could be helpful for other folks too. So, I just wanted to do a face mask while I sit and chat, because I've been trying to take better care of my skin lately. It's been not making me feel super confident, which is another whole thing. So I have been trying to switch over all of my beauty, makeup, etc., everything products to vegan, and I know this one is not. It has honey in it, but I bought it before I decided to make the switch, and of course I'm not going to throw things away. So I am trying to use up everything that I had before. I'm trying to get rid of some stuff that is, you know, kind of gently used. So I also made a list so that I remember what to talk about. But for just some background info for folks who don't know, I lived in Illinois literally my whole life, except for one summer when I lived in Iowa, which is when I very first started this channel. But I don't really consider that me moving, because I had an apartment there for me, that was part of my internship, and again, I had a job. That was the reason why I moved my internship, and I was only there for, I want to say 8 weeks. Maybe 10. I honestly don't remember. I was there from May until July. That's 10. I think I was there for 10 weeks. But it just wasn't that bad. It was a pretty easy thing. So when I went to accept the job here in Pennsylvania to move to Pennsylvania, I was naive, and I mean, I knew that I had no money to move, but I guess I didn't realize how much it actually costs to move, because I've never done it before. So that's my first big thing, is just how much money it has cost to move, and especially because we knew that Chris couldn't come with me right away, so I was moving by myself. So then for a little bit, we were paying 2 rents. And when I very first moved here, I stayed in an Airbnb for a month and a half, because I knew that I couldn't afford a deposit and, you know, first month's rent right away. So I ended up staying in an Airbnb for a month and a half. So, and then when I did move into this apartment in March, Chris was still living in Bloomington, so for a couple months we paid 2 rents. And I guess where I was going with that was the Airbnb was basically paying rent too. So that really sucked. And when I of course first got here, I wasn't making money right away. You have to wait to get a paycheck from a job. And where I work right now, Penn State, they only pay once a month. So I literally get a paycheck once a month. So that was another thing that was just a lot. So in order for me to move here, because I didn't bring our car from back home, I also had to rent a car, load it up with all my stuff and drive it here. So, the cost of moving here was, my Airbnb, the car rental, and then, of course, you just, need money when you, get to a place, because capitalism. So I ended up having to take out a loan to move, which just, sucks, because I just went through 4.5 plus 2, you know, almost 7 years of school, plus all the summer school I went to, that I have hella student loans, like quite a bit of credit card debt, and then I have to take out another loan, like just to be able to like actually take a job so where that I can like pay all those bills. So it just ended up costing a lot more than I guess I ever even imagined. Also, Chris and I made the decision to, instead of trying to rent like a U-Haul truck or like something like that to be able to move all of our items, to just get rid of and sell like a decent amount of our furniture, because we didn't want to have to pay, like, to drive a U-Haul here was like close to $2,000, and there was just no way that we could have afforded that. So instead we decided to rent just an SUV again, which is what I drove out here. And then we loaded up, so we loaded up an SUV, and then we had like our whole car too. So then of course, like, buying all new stuff like when we got here was like kind of a lot too, because then we were like trying to unpack our apartment. We were like, well, fuck, we left this, like, shit, we don't have that. So like, even just trying to like unpack and settle in for like, you know, a day or a week or whatever, then we just kept having to make like trips to like Walmart and Target and like the grocery store, of course. So like, be smarter than we were and like prepare. I thought I had like prepared and like set us up good, but I totally didn't. So like I told you, since we left all of our furniture, like the only things we brought one shelf, which we have to use for clothes right now because the closet in this apartment isn't big enough for 2 people. And then we brought like my like table / desk thing, which I didn't bring a desk chair, so like I literally can't even use it. So that was like kind of stupid. I don't know why I was so adamant about bringing it, and actually we're looking to get rid of it now. But so the bed I'm sitting on now, like I had bought this like all rolled up and had it shipped like the day I moved in, so that I did have a bed to sleep on. And then we bought the bed frame a little bit later, and I put that all together. Had it shipped here. And then we have like a table with stools that's in the kitchen. And so all of that stuff I had shipped here, like before Chris even got here. And then I bought a vanity at like a thrift store that I found. It was like kind of expensive, but it's like super cute and vintage. And literally other than that, we don't have furniture. Like we have a few of those like plastic drawer sets that we put clothes in because, like I said, our closet isn't big enough. So save some money. Like basically, after we start to like get out of debt, which is like a whole other thing. Like both Chris and I have 2 jobs now. Like we moved here so that I could work full-time at Penn State, and just with all of our bills and like our car pretty much was gonna shit out, so we had to buy a new car, and that was just like an expense we weren't 100% prepared for. So literally the day after we bought a new car, I started applying and I got a second job 3 days later. And then now Chris has 2 jobs as well. So like we both work basically 50, 60 hours a week. So like we'll see how frequently YouTube videos come out. But just once we start to kind of crawl out of like the debt that I put us in all honesty, like I basically want to start saving so that like when I decide to like move on from this position and we go to move again, we are like much better prepared for it. And like we've already decided straight up that like if we can't afford to move, we won't go, and if we can't afford to go together, we won't go, because living apart for even those like 5 months was honestly the worst thing ever. Again, paying like 2 sets of bills, 2 sets of groceries, like just all this stuff, like that was like one thing. But then also just like being away from your person was like the worst experience I've ever had. Like I'd mentioned, I had been in Iowa for like 10 weeks-ish before, but like we had never been apart from each other for like that long, like literally since we had begun dating 3.5 years ago. So it was just like literally so awful. It was so lonely. Like I just would sit in this apartment and like do nothing. Which leads to like another point. Like, how do you make friends as an adult? Like, if somebody has tips, like, can you please tell me? Because I've been here since January, so it's been almost 8 months now. And I think I've made 2 friends, and they're both, I like work with both of them. And since they're busy and I'm busy, we like don't really see each other that much, but like, I mean, I can like talk to them at work, but like, how do you like make friends that you can like be social with? And then when between 2 of you, you work 4 jobs, like, how do you be social? Like, I don't know. It just, oh fuck. So moving across the country, like, I was so excited to like get out of the Midwest, get out of Illinois. There was like a lot of like toxic people and just not good things back home for me. And so I was very excited to leave and like get out of my hometown and like be somewhere else. But like, I guess I was just so naive and like thinking that it would be this like big great grand thing, and it's really lonely. It really sucks. I think more so it's just where Chris and I live, like State College. I mean, it's a small town. Like, it's a college town, so it's like pretty big, and when the students are here, there's a lot of people here, and on football weekends, there's, you know, 100,000 extra people here. But like, definitely this summer while the students are gone, but just even in general, like, it's a smaller community than where we even came from in Bloomington, and we're really, really far from Philly. It's about a 3.5-4 hour drive to Philly, and there's not a direct interstate, so like, it takes forever, and like, the turnpike is expensive, and gas is more expensive out here. We haven't been to Pittsburgh yet. We have plans to go in like a couple weeks, I think, but I mean, even it is still like a 2.5 hour drive. We haven't been to Wilkes-Barre yet, which is again like a 2-hour drive. It's just really hard to like be somewhere where there are things happening. For us driving to Chicago, it became such a breeze. It was straight up 55. We had a lot of friends there. We could go do things, like, because I had grown up going to the city so often, it was like very easy for me to navigate and maneuver around. And like, just because of the difficulty for us to get to Philly, like, I'm not sure I'll ever get that comfort level. And again, because it's like a whole new area, a whole new scene, like, yeah, there's been people that have been like, oh yeah, I'm in Philly, like, come say hi to us, whatever, you know, like, I have a few like connections, like acquaintances, but it's just, it's not the same like level quite yet. Like, when we've been to shows, we're just like those like loser kids that like nobody knows. So it's just been like really hard. Plus, like, this is just like a completely different area, different community. Like, I don't really know all the like ins and outs of like the local culture here, like, and the things that I've been learning, I'm not 100% sure that I like. It's definitely different than the Midwest. Like, even just like grocery stores. Chris and I have literally had to go to every single fucking grocery store in this town to like find the ones we like, which, like, if you have a Wegmans near you, Wegmans is sick. Wegmans, I love you. If you want to sponsor me, I'll make videos all about how much I love you. I will 100% do that. And everything is kind of far apart here. Like, what the fuck, State College? Why are you like this? I guess just like some other things, like, of course, like figuring out the public transit, which like I had to do pretty early on, being that I didn't bring a car. And again, it's just like not what I'm used to back home in Bloomington, or even like when we go to like big cities. Like, I like in Chicago, like, I know how to take the L or the buses places. And here the transit kind of sucks, especially because we live outside of State College. Like, it's really hard to get into State College. The mass transit isn't very frequent, so it makes it really, really difficult. Another thing is, like, Chris and I, like, really just want to go back home. Like, I miss the old bar that I used to work at, like, a lot, especially starting, like, a second job. It just really is not the same. I miss my dad. Like, I talk to him pretty frequently on the phone, like, a little bit less since Chris got here and I work all the time now, but it's just really expensive to go back home, and like being that we're already in like quite a bit of debt, I have no idea when we're going to be able to go back home, because it's also like then I have to take time off 2 jobs. Chris has to take time off 2 jobs. So like we need to make sure that we like have enough money set back to take the time off, but then also have enough money to pay to go there, because like we're gonna have to stay in either like a hotel or an Airbnb in Bloomington. We need to like fly there. We'll probably have to rent a car while we're there. So like it's just a lot of stuff. But like, yeah, just being like super, super homesick. I mean, I guess I knew that was supposed to happen, but I guess I'd never felt it like this before. Like when I was homesick when I lived in Iowa, it was just because I just wanted to go home. I just wanted to be home. And now it's not that I want to like move back home and be there, but it's just like I miss the comfort of being there, because I knew everything and I was more secure there, where I don't feel very secure here. And like honestly every day I'm like scared that like something else is gonna go wrong, and then we have to just like try to fucking figure it out and bury ourselves deeper into a hole. And I'm kind of scared that I will get stuck here and like never be able to leave. They've like made jokes about that at work, how like, oh yeah, once you start working here, like you never leave. And it's like, God, don't say that. Like, I don't know. I can't live in this tiny town for the rest of my life. Oh my gosh. But I guess that like plays into like my last thing, is just like trying to get into a routine is like so difficult, because back home when you're comfortable, like you have a little blip in your radar, like something goes wrong, and like you have a better support network and you can figure it out. And especially because even in the like the 3 almost 4 months that like Chris and I have lived here together, there have just been so many changes. Even like, so like he got here and it was kind of difficult for him to like start work. Like it took almost a month for him to get a job. So like a month with no employment and like me just supporting both of us was like really difficult. Then he did get a job. Okay. Then pretty much then a month later we like bought a new car. So like that was not planned at all. Like we were thinking about buying a new car for like the fall. Like we were like, yeah, before winter we will definitely need something new. It just wasn't gonna work out that way. We like pretty much needed it now. We did need it now. And so we bought a new car. So that was a big change. Like I said, then I got a second job. Now it's been about a month. Chris has gotten a second job. And so it's just like all these things just keep getting thrown at us, and it's like we don't have time to fucking like cook ever. And like we don't even really have time to meal prep. Like I would love to meal prep so that we could both have like lunches and dinners. No time. I don't really have time to go to the gym because I'm working 40 hours full time at Penn State, 8 to 5, and then 3 to 4 days a week I'm serving. So that's about another 25-ish hours. I'm just exhausted all the time. I like literally never have time to go to the gym. Since Chris gets off before me most times, because I work usually about 5:30 to like 11:30 or midnight. So since Chris gets off before me, because he's working retail, it closes earlier, he will go to the gym like while he's waiting, since again we share the car, and like I told you, like the bus runs so infrequently, so it's not like I could just take a bus home after I get off. Like the last bus leaves State College to come to where we live at 8:54 p.m. So that's really not gonna work. So yeah, it's just been a lot. I need to wash this off. I don't know. I guess maybe like if you're thinking about moving, especially moving by yourself, like just do more research than I did. Make sure that you are prepared financially, mentally, emotionally. And I mean, I'm totally willing to like chat with anyone else about any more experiences that I've had. I don't know, this video is like probably really negative. We'll see if I even put it up. Overall advice, get out of your hometown for sure. Like, it makes me really appreciate my hometown. But just keep going. Like, I've mentioned there's been a lot of bumps in the road, but somehow Chris and I have figured them all out. I guess one of my biggest fears is that like one of these days there will be a bump that we like can't figure out, and then we're just like completely fucked. So I really hope that doesn't happen. But the next goals are get a couch. We still don't have a couch. And like find some time to like cook, because very sporadically we'll have times where I like make some like sick ass food, but being more consistent about eating would be like a lot better. So those are my 2 goals. We'll see when I update y'all in like probably another fucking month or something how we're doing. Thank you for watching. Actually, I'm gonna wash this off and I'll come right back because it's starting to feel like extra tight on my face. Okay, that took a little longer than expected. Do you ever like leave a mask on for way longer than you should and then it's really hard to get off? Whoops, I didn't do that. I do. But I guess that's like kind of one of the last things I do want to mention is like moving to a whole entire different place. My skin got so fucked because like my old routine back home did not work, so I would say I'm still trying to figure it out. And again, like moving through the seasons, like you need different products, so like it's been rough, y'all. Like not going so great. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was able to like help you in some way. I really also hope to get back on some sort of a consistent schedule, but like I mentioned, I'm working crazy hours, so I really hope I can just kind of have some fun with it, keep going with this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my Instagram and Twitter. Bye! Say bye, Bill.